ESPN, the world's leader in motorsports, presents Speed World. It is absolutely a perfect day for racing in Miami, Florida, and we're on hand for round 2 of the Barber Saab Pro Series. Hello again, everybody. I'm Marty Reed, working alongside is Guy Hobbs. And Guy, what makes these cars so special for young, upcoming drivers is that they're all the same.
They're all the same. The chassis are all the same. The Mondial open-wheel chassis. The engines, all the 2-liter turbo Saab that you'd find in a regular street car. And then the other interesting factor is the tires. They're all running on exactly the same Goodyear Eagle Racing rubber.
To give you an idea just how competitive this category has been here at Miami, the difference between our pole sitter, Johnny Robinson, and the man right alongside of him, Brian Herta, is all of 2/1000th of a second. It is going to be an outstanding race here in Miami. Let's take a look at the weather conditions. Our temperature is 85 degrees. The wind's a bit breezy from the southeast at 12 miles an hour. The skies are partly cloudy. Humidity is at 60%, and there is only a 20% chance of rain. Let's set the starting field for you here at the second round of the Barber Saab Pro Series. On the pole will be Johnny Robinson, and alongside Brian Herta. Row 2 will be David Pook. That's the son of Chris Pook. Robert Amron will be on the outside of row 2. Then in row 3, Victor Gonzalez and Jose Cordova. Watch Cordova to make a move for the front, as well as Tony Levo and Paige Jones. Yes, that's another one of Parnelli's sons. In row number 5, Terry Borchler and Ian Ashley. In row 6, Barry Waddell, Ross Hockenhull. Then in row number 7, it will be Leo Parente, Ricardo Donna, then Mark Tremblay and Wes Short in row number 8. And starting in row number 9 will be the pair of Alex Padilla and Tony Trimmer. In row 10, it'll be Roby Perez, Pancho Mendoza. Then in row number 11, Bud Clark, John Gooding. In row 12, Tom Juquette and Kevin Guida. And then in row 13, Peter Argetsinger. So we are just about ready to go racing. They are making the way towards what would be pit entrance, but if you pit in this series, with it only being a 30-minute race, you lose. They'll make this last turn. You can see that pole sitter Johnny Robinson is slowing down. Now he's starting to pick up the pace as they come around, and we'll be heading for the green flag right out of turn 11 on this 1.9-mile circuit. And we are ready to go racing in Miami. Johnny Robinson has moved into the lead, as it is a very clean start, what sometimes has been a very dangerous area, turn 1 in this series here at Miami, Guy. Everybody
through cleanly that time. It is a tough corner, as you say. It's off camber, and you can pile in pretty heavily. We may see some incidents there. Definitely we'll see some overtaking there. A good place to outbrake someone going into the right-hander at turn 1.
Johnny Robinson in the lead. That's Brian Herta in second place, and a great shot from up above. You can see the bay, how close they are to it, as we're getting these great shots from our eye in the sky from the CRM group at Melbourne, Florida. And thanks, guys. That is just fantastic. Gives you an idea just how beautiful this area is here in Miami. And Johnny Robinson starting to open things up.
There you get to see just how quick they go along the Biscayne Boulevard through turns 9, 10, and down towards 11, which is where they are right now, the pit entrance and the final left-handed turn on this 1.9-mile circuit.
Well, to give you an idea just how fast these guys can go in these barbs. Oh, and we've had an accident, a 2-car pileup, and cannot tell exactly where it is. It looks like
number 3.
The number 3 of Bud Clark from Tallahassee, Florida, is definitely one of the cars involved. Cannot make out who it is in the other one, and that is in the turn 10 area, which is one of the 2 trouble spots that these drivers have traditionally had here.
The unfortunate thing for these guys in this series, the Barber Saab series, that's going to come out of their paycheck too, because these guys are going to pay for all their own damage when they have an incident like that. So in that case, it looks like it's going to be quite an expensive trip here to Miami. They rent these cars out at $7,200 per weekend, and then they have to pay for any damage they do. And the top prize is $10,000 if you win the race. So you've basically got to win to make some money on the series. Of course, at the end of the season, there is a $100,000 bonus to the season-long champion. Rob Wilson, the winner last year. And he's used that money to go GTP racing this year, as long in the GTU series.
So we are waiting to see as the emergency vehicle is out there to check everybody out. We'll bring you an update as soon as we can. And there is the number 6, Wes Short from Indian Shores, Florida. He's also been involved in that tangle. So we'll give you an idea exactly. Oh, well, we've got problems. Oh, big crash. The medical emergency vehicle has been slammed into as well. Just as we were getting ready to take a break, some other vehicles get tangled in and cannot make out all the numbers again, Guy, but the rapid response vehicle is involved as well.
Well, that car was already sitting there. They were getting the yellow flag signal. Maybe they weren't. We see the driver there arguing or demonstrating with the corner worker what was happening. And that's going to be an expensive one. I don't know who has to pay for the Porsche, but it's going to be kind of expensive too.
The 92 is Terry Borchler. Paige Jones is also involved in this, so some of our front-running contenders are now out of this race, as this is going to take a great deal of time to clean up this mess, and we'll sort things out here as soon as we get a chance. There you get a better idea of just how things are in the Turn 10 area here at Miami, as the rapid response vehicle on the scene, and it gets involved in an accident. So we'll stay with this and figure out what's going to happen here as soon as we can. Today's race in the Barber Saab Pro Series is brought to you by Saab and your local Saab dealers, who invite you to test drive a car, not a compromise. By Quaker State, the Big Q is one tough motor oil. And by Bud Light, everything else is just a light. Stay with us. We'll be back to sort things out. Johnny Robinson is the leader. Brian Herta in second. David Pook in. Marty Reed and Guy Hobbs back with you at Miami for round number 2 of the Barber Saab Pro Series, and this is the havoc that has been wreaked early in this event. 3 vehicles get swept up in lap number 1, and then with a medical response vehicle on the scene, 4 others, and this is what some of the damage has looked like. It has been very expensive for the racers, and the Porsche 928, we can tell you, has a broken left rear taillight and some minor body damage, but it is still able to move around the track. Unbelievable. Let's take a look at what happened and see if we can sort out just who and where everything went wrong. Now this is already where you can see where the rapid response vehicles gets nudged from behind. The 92 is in it. Now the first car there, that was already there from the first time around, and it looks like Ian Ashley is the number 4, the red car there, and he gets swept up in it, and then it's just a chain reaction, Guy.
Unfortunately, it involves some of the favorites too, including Paige Jones in the number 21 and Ross Hucknall, the Englishman, with Formula 3 and Formula 3000 experience, come over here to try and get a good run in the Barber Saab Series. Now he's just going to have to get his checkbook out and start signing checks, unfortunately. There
are 10 foreign drivers who make the trip around this series, and it is very expensive for traveling. Here's the standings after the first race. Johnny Robinson, the winner, back at the round number 1. Robert Amron with 16 points. Paige Jones was 3rd. David Pook in 6th. Jose Cordova, Tony Trimmer, Matt Christian, Mark Tremblay. Now Pook, or I should say Paige Jones and Mark Tremblay, were swept up in that accident, so they are out of contention for able to gain more points.
You know that medical car, the 928, that's already been wrecked once in its livelihood down at San Antonio, and the doctor driving it actually crashed it in a practice session all on his own without any help from anybody else.
Now, don't give the guy's name. We don't want to make him feel bad. Well, this time certainly not the driver's fault, as they are still cleaning it up. What's really interesting here is the clock keeps running, so we are doing all this under yellow. It's only a 30-minute race. If we get this cleaned up in time, you can see everybody trying to explain what's happening down there. If we get this cleaned up in time, it's going to be a mad dash to the finish.
We have about 12 minutes left in the race, and you're right, it is going to be a mad dash. Once that pace car pulls behind the pit wall, it's going to be Johnny Robinson nailing it, being followed by Brian High-Speed Herder, and they're all going for points. And of course, the $100,000 Career Enhancement Fund, the only one awarded in any kind of series, is right here in this Barber Saab Series, and that's what everybody's trying to win.
Let's take a look also at what's coming up as far as races on the series. April 28th will be in Road Atlanta. May 27th, then Lime Rock. And June 2nd, Mid-Ohio. Always love heading to Mid-Ohio. Great racetrack. New Orleans in June 16th. That'll be another street race. Watkins Glen on June 30th.
New Orleans will be another case where it's a brand new circuit. The drivers will have the weekend to learn the circuit in only a few practice sessions, and then of course the qualifying. So it'll all be new to them there, as it will be to us.
Well, you get a look now of the remaining 17 cars that are still on the race course. There you can see that's third place going by now. 1 lap to go, we're getting signaled by. So we will then get back to green flag racing as the lights will be out after this time around. The points breakdown, you get 20 points for finishing first, 15, 12, 10, 8 on down the line. Now, we should point out you win $10,000 for first place, and then it drops down to $6,000 for second. Also, you get an extra point if you win the pole. The driver only counts his 10 best finishes of the total 12 races on the Barber Saab Pro Series. And this is very important, especially with what's happened here.
And Johnny Robinson, who is leading, has the bonus point from the pole and is the favorite to win here today. He had 3 firsts last year, finished second to Rob Wilson in the championship, and has started this year off in a great way with the victory at West Palm Beach.
Well, stay with us. When we come back, we'll go back to green flag racing. Johnny Robinson is our leader in Miami. Marty Reed, Guy Hobbs back with you at Miami for round 2 of the Barber Saab Pro Series. We are just about ready to go green. That is the straightaway heading down into turn number 11. The lights are off on the pace car, and this is going to be total tire abuse, Guy Hobbs. There is only about 9 minutes left and plenty of rubber on all those cars.
Well, they've only done the 6 laps in 20 minutes, and now they're going to do about another 6 in 10. So you're going to see a lot of, like you say, abuse of the cars as they dash to the checkered flag. And it's going to be a great race, obviously, between Robinson and Herter in particular. At
this point, David Pook in third place right behind him, but we'll wait and see as we come around. This is the exit point of turn 11. The guys are getting ready. It's up to the starter. Everything seems to be fair. They're dropping the hammer, and the green flag is back out, and Johnny Robinson tries to tuck it in on the inside. Pook tries to look inside, but Herter closes the door.
Pook had a good long look on the inside of Brian Herter there, going down onto the inside of turn 1. No luck. It's an off-camber corner. You've got to be set up dead right in turn 1 to make sure you have turn 2 right and the straightaway up to the fast turn 3.
Well, Johnny Robinson opens up about a 2.5 car length lead. We should point out he finished second last year to Rob Wilson. He is the preseason favorite to take the title this year. And, of course, he won the season opener at West Palm Beach. And, boy, immediately he is going for it. Look at him running up on the outside part of the curve.
Johnny Robinson, one of the folks coming over from England to run in this series, as Ian Ashley and Tony Trimmer and Ross Hucknall. As you mentioned earlier, a lot of foreign folks coming over to run into this Barber Saab series. It's turned out to be a very popular series because of that $100,000 career enhancement fund, which will send folks onto hopefully a bigger class of racing.
There you saw the 78 yellow car of David Pook. He is running in third, got his hands full in a battle there with Robert Amron. And Amron's looking to the inside. Pass 4 position there, and Amron looks like he's going to be able to make it stick as he keeps the inside position. And yes, change for third, but now look at Pook trying to bring it back again. But that's the entrance to pit lane, and you have to give way there because those cones will go flying right up into the cockpit area.
Robert Amron made his debut on the series last year at Tampa in the rain, was very quick in practice. Unfortunately, he didn't come through in the race. David Pook actually led that race for a while until he ran into some troubles. Oh, there we see him getting a little sideways opposite lock around turn 2.
And it looks like it may cost him a position as he is being battled with the number 53. That's Jose Cordova. Cordova going to look on the inside. They touch wheels, but no serious contact.
Pook really came across his line there. Now we're going to see a battle, and 2 of them go into the right-hander here. This is turn 6.
You've got to come out of clean there because it's so quick into that next corner. Then you're coming up into the complex of 7 and 8. And 8 has a bit of a bump in it, which can throw the car to the right.
The bump, unfortunately, is right on the exit of the corner, too. So there's no way of avoiding it. And then there's a horrendous bump on turn 9, which hopefully we'll see here. And some of the guys have been taking a wider line to completely miss it because it's right on the apex of that corner.
You can see that Pook has reestablished himself firmly in 4th place, but he is losing contact with the front 3. The number 70 in third place, Robert Amron, he finished second in there. Ooh, some great dicing action going on again. That's Cordova holding off for 5th position. Cordova battling with Victor Gonzalez. Gonzalez in the number 22 has been a very busy driver this weekend. He's driving in 2 other events.
Local guy, lives right here in Miami, loves this circuit. He's an electrical contractor officially and loves to go racing, trying to make it full-time racing, and choosing the Barber Saab series as one way to do it.
Cordova, one of the 10 drivers there in the number 53 car from outside the U.S. He's from Curitiba, Brazil. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Stay with us. We are going to be back with the conclusion of our Barber Saab Pro Series from Miami right after this. Marty Reed and Guy Hobbs with you at Miami, and this is the view from up above, courtesy of the CRM Group. And boy, what a great shot. Just shows you everything. And look at the gap opening up between first and second place. Johnny Robinson over Brian Herta.
Brian, high-speed herder. This is his 2nd year in the series, looking for some good results, of course, to parlay into bigger and better racing.
We talked about they would abuse the tires, and they had plenty of rubber left on them, and it looks as though the top 3 have been able to pull away from 4th place.
In that shot there where we just saw the Johnny Robinson car go by, you'll see it here, the blue and the yellow. That's the $100,000 career enhancement fund written on his wing at the back there. And whoever is leading the points standings in the championship will get to carry those colors at the next race as it continues as a swap. It's kind of like the yellow jersey in the Tour de France.
Well, right now, Johnny Robinson, after winning round number 1, if he holds on to this, he will hold on also to that plate. Action back in the pack. Oh, then the number 92, which was involved in the earlier accident and came back out, Terry Borchler, has spun it again. Cannot tell exactly. He's running without a rear wing, and that is a disastrous situation because you've got no downforce.
No, it makes the handling like a pig, unfortunately.
Well, it looks as though that's about turn number 7, and you can see, look at the, shall we say, dis or misbalance of that front wing also. It's sort of leaning to the right side.
He's, it's good to see him running again. Obviously, it's not going to cost him as much as we thought it would do right at the beginning.
Yeah, at least he's going to get his money's worth as much as he can. Whack to the lead. That is Johnny Robinson. And he has opened up about 5 car lengths now over 2nd place, Brian Herta.
Very smooth driving coming from Johnny Robinson. There is the pressure on him from Brian Herta, who the 2 we figured were the favorites. Now we see Herta not able really to close the gap up on Johnny Robinson. They're both driving very smoothly, and it's obviously you want to keep it clean and tidy because, as we mentioned earlier, these are $7,200 per ride, and any damage you do to the car, you pay for.
Unofficially, we've been told about 1.5 minutes left in this race, so there should be probably 1 more lap after this one. Again, that is unofficial. We have the IMSA scoring, and there's Brian Herta trying to close the gap.
Robert Amron waiting in the sidelines, so to speak. He's dropped back from the front too, but any mistake from either one, he'll be right in there.
This is definitely now the next to last lap. We have been informed officially now from IMSA, and it is going to be up to Brian Herta. It is a 2-car race because Amron has fallen back. You get an idea just how big the gap there. That's Biscayne Boulevard into turn 10, one of the more treacherous turns because there is old railroad tracks, and it creates a bump which pitches the car to the outside.
That's where we saw the big accident earlier too. It's a very tight exit out of turn 10 with the tire wall sticking out of the wall.
Well, that is turn 11, right across the finish line. 1 more time around for Johnny Robinson, and he will take home the checkered flag. He's only got to make it around another 7 turns.
1.9 miles this circuit, the street circuit of Miami, set in beautiful Bicentennial Park, and we involve some of the streets of the city, run right alongside the bay. You see some beautiful boats out there and the big cruise ships too getting ready to go out for a nice little weekend vacation.
Well, it's Robinson and Herta. Herta's trying to do all he can, but I just don't think there's enough time as Johnny Robinson has put on a spectacular wire-to-wire here, albeit because of part of it, the big collision earlier in the race, but I don't know if that would have made a difference the way he was tuned.
These 2 have been the quickest all weekend. In the first practice session, they were quickest in the qualifying, as we saw, split up by just 2 1/1000ths of a second, and now here they are running 1 and 2.
We'll give you an idea coming up just how far these two have pulled away from third place, Robert Amron. There he is, far off in this. That's the beginning of the Biscayne Boulevard, just about to turn a full straightaway, and that is the longest straight on the course.
And then that's David Pook you see behind Robert Amron.
So that'll be another good finish for Pook. Here he comes around the last time. This will be Johnny Robinson taking a checkered flag and winning round number 2, making it 2 in a row here on the 1991 Barber Saab Pro Series.
Fist in the air. He's very happy with that. Finished second in the championship last year. Now he's trying to repeat what Rob Wilson did last year and hopefully win about 6 or 7 in a row and wrap it all up.
Brian Herta alongside taking second place. Robert Amron will finish third, and all the waves from the crowd, and likewise going from Johnny Robinson back to them and the corner workers here at Miami.
Any thoughts on what we've just seen here, Rob Wilson? Yes, I think Rob Wilson
So Johnny Robinson winning round number 2 here. He'll pick up $10,000. $6,000 will go to second place, Brian Herta. And on back through the line. In fact, even if you make it to the starting grid, you at least pick up $500.
He's Johnny Robinson is now ahead of the game a little bit, $7,200 to come in. So what's that, $2,800?
There's the top 5. Johnny Robinson, Brian Herta, Robert Amron, David Pook, and Jose Cordova. Stay with us. We'll be back with more after this as we look at the 6 through 10 positions. Tony Levo, Victor Gonzalez, Barry Waddell, Ricardo Dona, and Alex Padilla. Marty Reed and Guy Hobbs back with you at Miami at the Barber Saab Pro Series, and this is a moment that is going to live for a long time in Barber Saab history. This determining factor for a number of our top contenders as the collision into the medical vehicle on lap number 2 ended up taking out a total of 7 cars, Guy Hobbs.
If you look there, you can see the corner workers pushing throwing their hands out, signifying to the drivers to stay tight inside. They've obviously got a major problem here on the outside there. We see one of the drivers disagreeing or at least demonstrating with the corner worker as to what he thinks went wrong.
3 of the drivers that were taken out that were considered potential winners in this race, that was one of them, Paige Jones. The other one, Ian Ashley, right there from Cambridge, England, and Ross Hockenhall. They were 3 of the 4. And you just have to wonder, did they see a flag? Was the flag up when they went into it? You just don't know. We never did find out exactly. We were told there was a waving yellow flag in the corner, but what actually transpired, I think if you talk to all 7 drivers, you may end up getting 7 different versions.
None of them will match up, and they'll all be very angry versions of what happened. Situation obviously not a happy one, and it's going to cost a lot of people a lot of money too.
Well, the one thing it doesn't do is take away from the victory for Johnny Robinson. As we take a look at the final results, Brian Herta in second place, Robert Amron, David Pook, and Jose Cordova round out the top 5. Tony Levo in 6th, Victor Gonzalez finished 7th, Barry Waddell in 8th, Ricardo Dona in 9th, and Alex Padilla in 10th. After 2 races, Johnny Robinson having a commanding lead over Robert Amron, 41 points to 28. David Pook now moves into 3rd at 16. Here are the upcoming races on the schedule for the Barber Saab Pro Series. Next stop, Road Atlanta, followed by Lime Rock, Mid-Ohio, and New Orleans. Don't forget Saturday Night Thunder, Saturday at 9 o'clock Eastern Time, right here on ESPN. Today's race on Speed World has been brought to you by Saab and your local Saab dealers who invite you to test drive a car, not a compromise. And by Quaker State. The Big Q is one tough motor oil. For Guy Hobbs, this is Marty Reed. We hope you've enjoyed today's race. We'll see you next time on ESPN's Speed World.